I love beer tastings, especially when I travel. My wife and I just got back from a trip to Florida. It was a beautiful week. And so when I taste beer on vacation, I both go to local breweries and I purchase the beer and taste it while I'm on the beach. Smart thinking. All right, well, the first beer we're going to talk about today is Orange Crush, which in the state of Florida sounds like a perfect American wheat to formulate. American wheat ale with orange peel and wildflower honey, which one would assume that's locally sourced. So we're going to give that a try, and that is the Tampa Hidden Springs Ale. That's in Tampa. Hidden Springs Ale Works in Tampa. All right, here we go. Poolside down here south of West Palm Beach, between West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale is where we're at. Anyway, so I poured it in my thermal glass here. And yes, I did have to put ice in this beer. Sorry, it's like 94 degrees out here with a heat index of like 150. So it's fine. But anyway, I'm going to try this. Okay. So it has a brightness to it that I can't really identify. I guess I like it. I like wheat beers. I like doing, like experimental things with wheat beers, like a double cherry wheat beer I brewed once. And I'm guessing it's the orange peel that I'm really getting out of this a lot. Honey? You're supposed to say yes, dear. Yeah, I think it's a successful combination of the honey and the orange. I think, and the wildflower that makes that beer kind of bright. So it's good. I think it's a 5.5 ABV. Good for a summer drink. Not quite a session ale, although we could fudge it and make it a session ale. Anyway, really good job. All right, next beer on the list I have to crack up. Hops for Teacher. That's a song reference, in case you don't realize and you weren't young in the early 80s. It's an India Pale Ale. And this particular beer is made in Miami. The J. Wakefield Brewing Company, JWB, and I think it's a 5% ABV. So that's brewed down there in Miami. So let's see if I've got it bad for Hops for Teacher. Alright, there's the pour. Kind of a medium to below medium head on that one. Fine by me. Alright, here we go. First impression. Pretty spot on. It has just about the exact hops profile you would expect from an IPA. Now, what's real popular nowadays are the juicy IPAs or the West Coast IPAs, or of course the Imperial Double IPAs, which are great. But this is really refreshing. A 5% alcohol would technically fall in the classification of a session beer. So what time is it? I think it's 5 o'clock here. So, and somewhere always. So anyway, I think it tastes really good. Made in Miami. Of course, hops are a part of more traditional beer and IPAs. Every single brewery has to have at least one. That's just like a thing you got to do, right? It's very, very deeply seated in the beer tradition. So yeah, and they have hit it on the mark. All right, here's another beer. This one's called You're My Boy Blue. And you would think that would be a blueberry, and you'd be absolutely correct. It's a blueberry wheat ale. And that is made by Florida Avenue Brewing. I believe it's a 5.3%. I like fruited wheat beers, and just not too much fruit flavor. So we're going to pop this one open and see how it goes. I can really smell the blueberry from here. All right, here we go. Give this one a try. Yeah, so it has a very distinctive blueberry flavor. Not too much blueberry, and enough hops punching through, so I don't feel like I'm drinking beer candy. And I don't think they added any lactose. I can check the label, but doesn't. If they did, it's very little. So hats off to this. I mean, if I'm gonna drink a wheat, it's more likely going to be in the summer. And it's really likely if I'm on a beach with an ocean behind me. And whether it has fruit in it or not is optional, but you're going to get a lot of those made by breweries this time of year. So cheers, tastes really good. All right, this next beer, 7% alcohol by volume, Juicy Meats West Coast IPA. Tropical citrus notes, hoppy yet smooth, well-rounded yet bright. That all sounds great. So this particular beer is Graphic IPA, which they describe as a hybrid, and that is Gulfstream Brewing. I'm not exactly sure where they're located. I'm sure I missed it on the can here somewhere. I have an oversized cup, so I don't really care about the quality of the pour. Or maybe I do. No, I think we're going to be okay. Ooh, just barely. Ooh. Let that settle down a little bit. Ooh, just a little foam over. We're good. All right, here we go. Now again, the head was massively disrupted by the way I poured it. But I don't have a stand tripod for my camera, so I had to have one hand free. I couldn't hold the glass at an angle. This isn't a strict scientific review. Let's give it a try if I can get to the beer. That's really good foam. But I can already tell. As advertised, yeah, the hoppiness is definitely there. So, I don't know where the cutoff on a double IPA would be, or an imperial IPA. I'm not sure if there's a clearly defined alcohol percentage boundary for that, but this would be on the edge, I would think, based on what I read. It's very hop forward. It tastes like a double IPA to me, and a very good one. I actually wish maybe a few more of the tropical notes would come out on this. I'm not really tasting them, but it's all good. Now I remember the backstory on double IPAs. I remember when they first really started hitting, or imperial IPAs, when they first really started hitting the market. God, it had to be like 10 years ago, maybe a little longer than that. I remember trying it with a friend of mine thinking, yeah, I don't like the high ABV with the hops. It doesn't work for me. But it didn't take too long to get over that. It's one of my favorite beers, actually, is a double IPA. Like a Voodoo Ranger or any of a bunch of beers that you could possibly buy in that category. So I considered that, that's what I'm drinking, basically. I don't really taste the juicy aspect of it. But it's a fine quality beer nevertheless. Double wide trailer. Gotta love it. 3 palm trees. This is another double IPA from FMB Brewing. And this one is, of course, a very high ABV. I believe it's 9%. And I actually bought a 4-pack of this one. So this is the last one. I have to record it before I drink it. One unfortunate thing is that I'm using this particular insulated mug, and it doesn't show the color of this beer, which is a really, really cool orange, kind of golden brown color. Really liked it. And I poured it pretty decent too. All right, here we go. Try this out. Now, like I just said, I've already had 3 of these, so I'm just going to remind myself how much I like it. Now, this particular double IPA is very hop heavy, which I don't mind, but it is one of the things that when these first came out with the high alcohol content, I think I mentioned that when I reviewed the other one. So again, but I don't mind that. I've gotten used to it. So this is really a fine quality beer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. I do weather, beer brewing, storm chasing, music, you name it. Also, you might be interested in this video I did last year where I brewed a beer from blackberries I picked in the wild.